Yeah, I mean, I remember in the 80s there was violence against Asians when Toyota and Honda were taking away a lot of market share from GM and Chrysler and stuff. And then now you could imagine maybe there's some anger around like the Kung flu or the China virus or the Wuhan virus, all that topic, like how China attacked us and everything. And at some point, what how would we feel if some Asian Americans took action if they saw someone being attacked and
How would I
they
feel?
basically violently defended that
Man,
the
I
person being
I would
attacked?
I would feel I would feel like could we get it live on CNN and Fox News?
But then couldn't that boil over and result in like retaliation against from one community to the other? Like I just wonder how that ends.
Could could care less.
Mm.
Just
So you
for
think
me.
it would create a deterrence,
Yeah,
maybe?
well, no, not necessarily. I mean, there's probably a few people that would be like, turn that into try to turn that into a war. But like, in order to have peace, you got to be willing to defend that peace, even unto death, right? That's just
Mm.
like that's one of the laws of power out on the world, unfortunately.
Hmm. It's
Like,
just a
like
scary scenario.
it's definitely not a scenario that is fun to think about, but
Yeah.
reality is reality in my view. That people aren't just gonna be like, oh, okay, yeah, let's just stop. You're like, unfortunately we live in a society where like it's a winner take all society. It's biggest gun wins, and
Mm.
um, it's that's where we're at, I believe.
So what let's I know we're going to wrap up shortly, but I want to do two things. If anybody in the chat has questions for Fred or me, go ahead, put it in the chat. And then I wanted to call out Toher's Fire, who I believe is a Trump supporter, and he's saying, "Hey Tom, like I don't appreciate you blaming Trump for the anti-Asian violence, but I don't know if he's the single most contributor to it, but I have to believe that there are people who um listened to him and thought, "Oh, this was a coordinated attack by China on the US." And some people have difficulty differentiating between Asian Americans, some of who have never even been to China, might not even be able to find it on a map, and then the Chinese Communist Party running shit in Beijing. But I don't feel like he didn't de-escalate the tension. Like, what do you
I
think?
don't
I don't know.
I don't think he de-escalated the tension by any stretch of the imagination. Now, I don't feel like we can blame Trump now because Trump's not in office. And sometimes I get the feeling that like in certain uh in certain cultures, like especially in like gang culture,
Mm,
it's like a cool thing and like a kind of like a rite of passage to attack another people group. That's
mm,
like one of your like to show that you're kind of like down or you're cool,
badass.
right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like to show, like it's an initiation factor. And
Yeah.
I'm thinking that maybe the Asians are being used in a cruel way of like, hey, these are people that we can use as pawns in in
Mm,
our gang initiations. You know,
mm. I mean, it's heartbreaking when you see the videos. Like sometimes it's like a little old lady
yeah,
like walking
it's
down. She's like,
crazy.
"What? She didn't do anything to you, you know?"
Yeah, yeah, like that is the worst of the worst because or the guy that had his face cut. Like
Oh yeah, sliced. Yeah,
it's like man.
yeah. That's gonna be with him for the rest of his life.
Well, what I thought was really interesting is he said like I felt I felt like I was being attacked while everyone was watching and no one helped me.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess what would have happened had that guy been like a different group? Like if he were a white lady, would people have kind of risen to her defense, or maybe people were just in shock and they didn't know what to do or they were scared. I don't know. Like if some dude's getting stabbed by some like maniac, I would pause and be like, oh shit, like what do I do? Like I don't know if I want to just like lunge in there with this huge guy with a
Yeah,
freaking knife.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I can see that. That's why I really think open carry is important, because you could be on the subway and something like that could happen, and
Hmm.
you could probably you could just handle it right there. Just
Hmm.
blow that guy's brains out, and be done with it.
Yeah. But then you got like the backstop and like what if they don't aim properly and someone's sitting next to the guy and
I mean, it's it's a risk. I guarantee it's no greater risk than having somebody's uh, face slashed.
yeah, no, I feel you. Yeah. That's a tough one. It would
And
be nice to see maybe
it's not an easy one. You're right.
be nice to see Biden and Harris is technically half Asian. So she should probably say something. Maybe they already have. I haven't seen it yet, but hopefully there's more attention on this. I agree. Like it's almost I'm not sure which is more disturbing, the spike in violence or the lack of conversation by non-Asian people about I see a lot of Asian people, like I myself, I'm on Twitter saying this is BS. Like
Oh,
and
you're
I know
Asian?
you're yes.
I,
I got a
man,
little Asian in my background. Um
thanks for pointing that out.
but it would be good to see like our national leaders talk about it as if there were a surge in attacks on any other group in the US. You know, it doesn't seem like it's a top thing right now. But hopefully more people will acknowledge it that that those lives matter, right?
Well, yeah. It seems like no. It seems this is just me. It seems like no lives matter when the Democrats are in office, and then as soon as 2022 hits, and we need to put an emphasis. We need somebody to blame, and we can use
Mm,
those lives that are being uh that are being hurt, or maimed or killed or whatever,
mm-hmm.
regardless of what color they are, as long as they're not white people, right, that are being hurt. Um, and as long as we can blame uh conservative values and conservative rhetoric for it, then uh, you know, groups like Black Lives Matter or other groups come out in droves, right? But
Mm.
now that we have the Democrats in power, mum's the word, because we got what we wanted, right?
Well,
Um,
let's see what Biden and Harris do. If we still see this persist and they're just kind of mum is a word, then that'll be very disappointing. I hope you're wrong, but and if you're finding this content useful and you haven't clicked that join link, oh, Nell just joined. Hello, nerds. Um, Go ahead and hit that join link because that money goes to investing in the streaming software that I'm using now, the podcast hosting fees, and then promotion of the channel so we can grow the audience and attract more big time kind of interviews. So let's start with our highest level member support. It's our vice presidents. We have V Lamb, JM Sap, Fat Lamb, Kristen Slevin, Soldier One, Laura Lane, Patrick Dunn, Bike, and Mindful Skeptics. So thank you to all of our VPs. And next level down, we have our hardcore. We have Mike Chang, Gene Lim, David, Tracy, DK, Phoenix, Jekalego, who I think is in the room right now, Kirsch, Mr. History Fan, Byram Hess, Mona, Susan Yang, Tony, Robert, Dean, Statner, Galessa, Jalesa, Jay Perrin, Annalisa, and Jay Bryan Anderson. So those are our hardcore nerds. And then we have our verified level. Helen, Lisa, Sugar, Albert, Brandon, Yes, Brian, Peter, Arez, Your Mommin, Sophia, Jadwiga, Gail, Shake and Make, Mike, Doris, Emerald, Nell, Lori, Ben, Rogers, Lisa, Christina, Vaughn, Rasta, Richard, Jessica, James, Jalopy, Emma, Spirited, Hui, Stephen, Ira, Shoni, Spy, Philip, Jameson, Dr. A, William. Skipped. We were left at William. Karen, Monica, Ender, Alex, Ardent, Mai, Semery, Brittany, and Clyde. And let me just give a shout out to our newest members overall. Total time as member minimum. That would be Clyde and Brittany, who are less than 30 days old. So welcome.
Gang gang, 2020. Gang gang, 2020. Gang gang, 2020. Gang gang. Yang gang 2020. Yang gang 2020. Yang gang 2020. Yang gang. Yeah.